Hey, okay, let's practice what we know so far. We know two moves, and then we'll begin the process of adding in the third move. All right? So, from the beginning. Okay, Jim, let me see you do it. Good. Okay. Um, when you do the second circle, right? First circle, second circle. Think about the ends of your fingers. Huh? Boom. It's like they're reaching out to test something, right? Uh, Jim, have I ever showed you the video we have of what that move actually is? Have you ever seen it? I can't hear
Probably, but I don't remember.
you. Well, I'll tell you what. For next week, I'll cue it up and we'll take a look at it. Okay, the third move is called lazily tie the coat. Let me just demonstrate it. All right. After Buddha's warrior pounds the mortar, pounds the mortar. All right. Guys. I don't know what's going on with this TV here. I'm getting really big flickering things. It may be that this TV is getting ready to go away. I don't know. Are you seeing, Kevin? Are you seeing big flickers? You're not seeing anything. Okay. Well, if I just disappear, it's because the TV exploded or something. All right. So Buddha's warrior, touch the ground, sink. You're on the left leg, sink. Step forward, not straight that way, not straight forward, but at 45 degrees. Step forward, rock back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There are 9 functions in there. All right, so let me do it without any talking here. So that's a very typical move. It's about 10, 12 functions in there. So we're just going to do it one bite at a time. All right. So the first thing, just watch my footwork. Um, Usually the easiest way to get a move is get the footwork first, then get the waist, then get the hands at the end. All right. So we're finishing Buddha's warrior. Boom. Relax. All my weight is on the left. All right. I'm going to step out with my right at 45 degrees. That is right down this line here. I'm going to step out just a little bit. Not a huge step, but a walking step, right? And then I'm just going to swing my body forward. Just swing. So that could be a function. A crotch shot. Boom. But just soft. And now somebody has grabbed my wrist. What do you do when somebody grabs your wrist? They got this wrist here, they got this wrist here, and they're kind of controlling you, right? One thing that you can do is join your hands together. When somebody's got one wrist and the other wrist, they've kind of got you divided up. What you want to do is bring yourself back into your own center. And it's usually relatively easy just to clamp down like this because they're not expecting it. and it's not a motion that is easy to stop. So the right fist goes into the left palm. Now watch. I'm going to go under my danshin. It's like I'm driving with this arm, and I'm covering with this arm. Drive. Then I'm going to come up and go over the danshin and push. And then, if the guy still hasn't let go, I'm going to what's called snap back. Snap. It's not with your arms. It's not like this. It's with your weight shift, your waist turn, and your danshin. Right. So add it all together, it makes a big circle. Again, Buddha's warrior. Relax onto the left leg. Step out with the right. Swing the hands forward, and then join the hands together. Right fist into left palm. Under the danshin, over the danshin, push, and snap back. When you snap back, bring your right toes with you. The reason, one of the reasons that the snapback will work is because you pushed toward him immediately before that. Right? Push toward him. Right? Then snap back. Relax. 1, 2, 3, 4. And when you're done, your weight is back on the left and you are rocking the baby. That's the first circle. Buddha's warrior. Relax. Step forward, swing, join the hands together, under the danshin, over the danshin, push, and snap back till you're rocking the baby. All your weight on the left again. One more. Buddha's warrior. Relax. Step out. Swing. Join the hands under the danshin, over the danshin, push, snap back, rock the baby. Try it. One more. I'll do it with my back to you. One big circle. Again. Step out. Join your hands under the danshin, over the danshin, push, snap back to center. One more. It's just one circle. Step out. Join the hands under the danshin, over the danshin, push, snap back to center. Rocking the baby. Right on your own center. Holding your danshin. Okay, try it again. Good. Okay. The next part of the move is very small. But in real life, I have to tell you, it's really deadly. So when Kevin gets up here later in the week, amongst the many other things we will do, I'll try to do this so we have a demonstration too. All right? The next part of the move is like this. It seems very small. Rocking the baby, circle, circle back. Hold on, chins, going like this. Circle, come back. This is a joint lock. It's a really deadly joint lock. You have to be really careful demonstrating it with someone or you'll break their wrist without any trouble at all. All right? So, the tricky part about this, the part to get, is the footwork. It's not that the footwork is tricky, you just got to remember it, right? So your weight's on the left. Come back over to the right. Now this whole move, this whole middle section of the move is just moving your weight back and forth while you're standing there. But those little movements are really important. Now you move and sync, move and sync, move and sync, move and sync. Buddha's warrior, relax. Step out, join the hands together, under, over, push, snap back, rock the baby, go to the left, and then back to the right. Now my weight is pretty much 70-80% on the right. There's a little weight on the left, but not much. One more. Step out. Hands together. Under. Over. Snap back to the left and then to the right. Watch just my hands. Yeah. Boom. Okay. The next little bit of the movement is two movements, one to wind up, the other to hit. Watch. Just watch. Wind up, hit. Winding up also includes blocking. Wind up, I'm winding up so that I can hit, but I'm also blocking, making sure nobody hits me in the face. All right? Block, hit. I might also be grabbing somebody's arm. Grab their arm, right? Pull it down, come over the top, and hit them in the neck. All right? So that's about half the move. I don't know if we'll get the whole thing today, but maybe we will. All right? Buddha's warrior. Relax on the left leg. Step out with the right. Join the hands together. Under, over, push. Snap back. Weight to the left. Weight to the right. Weight to the left. Weight to the right. One more. My tape is starting to lose tapiness. Let me make a new set here.
Just old age, Malcolm.
Yeah, tell you what, I know exactly how this tape feels.
My tape hasn't been the same in years.
You know, Annie and I have been talking about this a lot. Neither one of us sleep like we used to. You know, I used to sleep 8 hours a night without any trouble, but I just don't sleep that way anymore. Um, I'm lucky to get 4 hours, and then I'm wide awake again.
I've been taking CBD every night since the 2016 election.
Well, I'd like to think that was it, but uh, there's other reasons that old people don't sleep well.
Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you, the daily news does not help anything. But yeah, I can remember my grandfolks going through this same kind of thing. So, what I've done is follow the Taoist precept: when you're tired, you sleep. When you're hungry, you eat. All right. Don't make it more complicated than that. So, if I take a 2 hour nap in the afternoon, that's fine. Who cares? Right? If I wake up at like this morning, I woke up at 4 in the morning and I'm just bawling. I'm wide awake, so I got up and worked until the class time. What are you gonna do? There's nothing you can do about it. Anyway, all right. Join the hands under, over, push, snap back, weight to the left, weight to the right, weight to the left, weight to the right. One more. Left, right, left, right. Okay, let's go on to the next little thing it's gonna keep doing this same rhythm, left, right, left, right. All right, let me just add it on. Watch. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Now, you could be doing a lot of things on that last little move. But one of the things you could be doing, right? Left, right, left, hit. This is an elbow strike. Right up to the jaw. You don't have to when you do something like that. You don't have to use your left hand, but you'll get a stronger punch if you do. Another way to do it, if you watch Master Feng in really old videos from the 70s and 80s, you'll see this. That's okay to do it too. That's a way to get out of somebody's grabbed your wrist. That's a way to get out of that. All right. From there, watch. Whether you're gonna, I'm gonna do this as an elbow strike because it's bigger and it's easier. All right. Elbow strike. Now watch. Back to the left. back to the left. This is a reverse chin-up, a reversed wrist lock. Right? A forward wrist lock, the whole form is full of these reverse and forward wrist locks. So what do they look like? I've grabbed the guy's hand. All right? The main thing you want to get, if you can get it, is the hand. Now you never do a wrist lock on purpose. You never think, I'm going to go into the match and do a wrist lock on this guy. It just doesn't work that way. Joint locks are accidental. When the guy puts himself in harm's way, you're trained to take advantage of it. But you don't think, well, I'll go out and do that. It won't work that way. It has to be spontaneous. So somehow you're screwing around with him and your hand just happens to grab his hand. He happens to give you his hand. So you grab his hand. Now, you can twist his arm by twisting your Dan Chin. I'm going to twist my Dan Chin this way. Watch. All right. Let me use this one that's got a marker on it. All right. Watch the blue. So I've twisted it 90 degrees just by shifting my weight and turning my Dan Chin. I'm not using, well, of course I am using the arm muscle, but it's not done with the arm muscle. It's done with the core of the body. How much does my arm weigh? Even if I'm strong, it's not anywhere near as strong as my core muscles. What's the other arm doing? So I've got his wrist on one end, I've got his elbow on the other end. Watch this hand here. This one's turning this way, this one's turning the other way. Boom. What you're doing is this. All right? You're wringing out his arm. This turns this way, this turns this way. And what you've done is catch the forearm, which has two bones in it, and you're twisting the two bones around each other. It's very painful. Trust me, it's very painful. I've had Master Zhang do it many times. All right? It's very easy to break somebody's arm that way if you decide you want to break somebody's arm. All right? Boom. Now the problem is he's got another hand, and he can be getting ready to clobber you with that other hand. So this is not something that you do nice and slow like in the Tai Chi forms. All right? You grab it, it's got to be instantaneous. And the only way for it to be instantaneous is to practice it 1,000 times. So, all right, in this here, elbow strike, all right, forward shinap. The next move, I'm just going to go through to the end. I'm going to tell you all the pieces of this, and then you can watch the video to catch up on this little by little, and then we'll continue to just work this one little piece at a time. The next bit of the move looks like this. So suppose somebody's coming at you like this, all right? Maybe they're going to grab you by the throat or something like that. One of the things you can do is come up between their arms and then use first your chest, then your shoulders, then your elbows, then your wrists, and you just open them up, right? Then, boom, knee them in the crotch. Open, knee. Open, knee. Open knee. Open knee. Now, if you're really good at it, when you open, watch. You wrap your arms around their arms. You wrap around their arms and pull them down, not using your shoulder muscles, but using your body weight. And then you bring the knee up into their chest or their face or their crotch or something, right? And again, forward China. Close, elbow strike. And again, forward China, only on the other side. Now it's on this side. When you do China on either side, you need to pay attention to the qua. I don't know why I can never find the end of this thing.
Supposed to leave a little folded over end so you can pull it out.
Yes, you're right. When I put my costume on, I always fold it over, but I always forget about that. Right?
Port and starboard.
Yeah, exactly.
Port and starboard.
Port and starboard, right? When you do the China, you're using your gut, you're using your core. So watch. You close the hip joint. I'm not using any arm muscle at all. I'm just using my hip joint. Now, you're going to add arm muscle on top of that, but the arm muscle is like icing on the cake. This is the cake. All right? And then, boom, and again, and elbow strike, and now you're going to do it on the other side. You're going to sink into the blue qua. Most of the weight, when you do a China, almost all the weight, not all the weight, but most of the weight, 70-80%, is forward. If I'm doing China on this side, I want my weight to engage. Right? On the other side, right? I want the weight to do this. If you're going to do this on someone, you have to do it really quickly, but there are still stages in this. So the first step is to touch, all right, to engage. The second step is to make contact. That's different than just touching. Making contact is feeling inside. I'll demonstrate it when Kevin's up here. Kevin, you're going to have a great time. All right? Yes, you touch, but then you have to make contact. You've got a simple way to say it is you have to feel where the bones are. Because a big part of joint locking is to run the bones into an impossible situation. And so that's what you do. You have to feel that, and you've got to feel it instantaneously, right? Then you lock the lock. Locking the lock is done with your weight more than your muscle. Your weight comes down on it. You've put the bones into a position where if you lock them, the other guy won't be able to move. And then, boom, you lock it, right? Now, if you're Master Fong or Master Zhang, the fourth stage is to make them cry, right? You make them cry. Now you put the weight on. Now you push them all the way into the ground. And with a joint lock situation, there is nothing they can do about it unless they don't mind having a broken arm. But that's what's going on, right? One, two, boom. So it's all done with the core, especially the abdomen and the quad, the hip joints. So when you're doing, and you'll find them. I'm taking time to explain this now because you'll find these everywhere in the form. And I can guarantee you, and I think Kevin will back me up, in most classes you will never hear about this. It just won't happen. So you end up doing Tai Chi as if they're dance steps, but they're not dance steps. They're very specific martial arts steps. So we're not trying to become martial artists, but it's sort of like, why are you doing Tai Chi if you're not actually going to do it the martial way, right? So you have to watch my Dan Qian. You have to have some awareness of what's going on inside, right? And if you can grab hold of that, and it takes a long time to get it. It takes years to get it, it takes a good 5 years. But if you can get it, then when you're doing the form very, very gently. You're doing it from the outside, you're not going to see anything. But on the inside, you're mentally practicing the right stuff, and you're working these muscles just a little bit, not too much. The reason you don't want to do it too much in China is if you practice, right? If you practice really fiercely, there will be people watching you, and they will steal your stuff. Kevin, I don't know whether I told you the story, but there was a guy from the Midwest. He and his wife used to come and work with Master Zhang for a couple of weeks each summer, a week or two. But that wasn't enough for him. So they figured out where he gave his private lessons. And I'm not kidding you. They hid in the woods on the hill up above him and watched him with binoculars. And of course, you don't do that. That's not a good thing to do. Jean.
Yeah, that sounds like Yang Yilu Chan.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yang style Tai Chi is the most common style of Tai Chi around the world, including in China. But it was started by a guy named Lang Yu Chan. Yang Lu Chan was a student. Well, he wasn't even a student.
Oh.
What he was a house servant in Shen Village to one of the masters there. And I don't know the whole story, whether he did that on purpose, but what he would do is sneak around and watch the practices on the practice field. And you didn't do that in China. You did not do that. You truly did not do that. Because every little village there had its own martial art, and they had it for a reason. The country was crazy. It was full of bandits. And most of the martial arts that we know today, including Tai Chi, were invented as a way to protect these little villages from these marauding bandits. And my teacher's teacher was in the last generation that actually fought and killed bandits in their little village. It's a famous story in Shen style, but maybe I'll share it with you one day. And they didn't fight nice. Anyway, you don't do that. You don't steal. You don't steal. You can be nice about it and ask to watch. You'll probably get told no, but you can ask to watch. But Yang Luchan watched, and then they caught him, and they didn't kill him because I think he was a young guy at that time. They didn't kill him, but they said, "Look, if you're gonna steal this, come into the class and learn it the right way from the beginning." So they taught him Chen style. He took Chen style to Beijing and then modified the Chen style to a much more pedestrian kind of martial art, and that became Yang style. And as my teacher used to say, Yang style, very nice for old ladies. All right, so we're doing the original style, all right?
What happened to the guy who hit on the hill?
Well, nothing. Master Zhang was a very nice guy, and he was really good at avoiding conflict, and I mean seriously. I've seen him in situations which would have been very tense for me, and he managed to smooth everything out. I'll tell you a famous story about that. So what he did is he just changed the place that they were practicing. And he moved it to his backyard instead of in Golden Gate Park. And that solved the problem because there was no way for them to cheat. So here's the famous story. It's actually on my website. And I was there that day. We used to practice in a big circle on the music concourse. And there were probably at least 40 of us, 45 of us in a big circle. And Master Zhang was leading. I don't remember what it was, silk reeling or Qigong, I don't remember, something. And these 4 black guys came up onto the little hill there right behind him. And they kind of watched for a while, and then they started horsing around. And they were, sort of copying him and just doing all this sort of goofy stuff and being really obnoxious. And finally, Master Zhang turned around and he went like this. "Come on. You want to learn? Come down here." And they came down, and he gave them a little mini lesson for about 10 minutes or so. And it was really interesting because, of course, they didn't have any idea what they were doing, but he taught them just like he would teach anybody. And at the end of the 10 minutes, they all bowed, and they went off respectfully. So it was, the reason it was so funny is all us guys in the class really didn't like to see people making fun of Master Zhang. Because they were acting like they were in junior high or something like that, right? So we were all getting ready to go up there and have a little discussion with them. But Master Zhang solved the problem much more peacefully. And I have to say, guys, this is really true. I still think about that incident and many other incidents, and he's still my teacher. Because I have a much more volcanic temper than he ever did. He was really able to bring harmony back into a situation and do it very easily without any trouble.
Well, what about the George Shue Master Zhang story with the knife?
Oh, one time, George Shue is a Tai Chi and martial art impresario and practitioner in San Francisco. He's older now. I think he's in his 90s. But he would always bring people over from China. Would bring masters over, and then get lots of people in the Chinese community as well as the white community to join and do things with him. And he didn't bring Master Zhang over, But when he found out that Master Zhang was there, he said, "Oh, God, come in and work with me in my school. You should be teaching. Why are you washing dishes in some restaurant?" All right, so he brought him in, and he said, "I'll tell you what, I'll just give you my school. You can have my school, but I want you to teach me Chen style Tai Chi." So that was the deal they made. And they were out at Spreckles Lake in Golden Gate Park there one day. And if you remember Spreckles Lake, it's got those big concrete patios or whatever you want to call them around the lake there. And they were practicing, doing stuff. And some drunken homeless guy comes up and pulls a knife on him. All right, and I doubt if he was really that impressive, but a knife is a knife. And George Shue is a little more like me, so he's like, "Come on, okay, come on, all right." And the guy attacks him, right? Well, of course, George just knocks the knife out of his hand and knocks the guy down, and that was the end of that. But Master Zhang ran over to get the knife, and then brought it back and gave it to the guy, and said, "Here's your knife. You have a good evening." Right? That was Master Zhang. Although he could certainly be tough if he needed to be. Okay, let's go back to our move that we're doing here. Right? Oh boy, that was a real flicker on my end here. So I'll do this a couple of times. You can practice it over the week. Don't worry about it. We'll spend time on it next week. Catherine couldn't be here at all for this weekend. Jill, I don't know what happened to her. Oh, she's sick, and I imagine she's actually really sick today. So hopefully they'll be back next weekend. So we'll have to go over all this again anyway, right? So Buddha's warrior, relax. Weight on the left, on the right. Join your hands together. Under, over, push, snap back, weight to the left, weight to the right, weight to the left, weight to the right, weight to the left, weight to the right, weight to the left, open and knee, close, forward, chin-na. Chin-na means joint lock. Forward chin-na, elbow strike, and forward chin-na on the right side. One more. There's a lot of details, but we can go over them next week. So I'll send everybody the recording of this, and I may send a couple of other things along with it to give you an idea of what's going on. One comment I'll make: if you watch more advanced practitioners or any of the masters do this form, you're going to see this. They don't join their hands until the top of the circle. But I'm teaching you the correct way, the paint by number 1, 2, 3, 4. Once you get it all and you get the rhythm, then you can. The reason they do that is it just helps with the flow. And that's a way of pointing out that martial applications are different from the form. Yes, it's interesting to have the martial applications. It helps you get the correct picture in your mind, and that helps you get the right body mechanics. But the form is the form. It's about the flow of chi. So this gets a little awkward. But this is much less awkward. There's much more flow in it. And I think that's why everybody ends up sort of doing it that way, including me. But I'll teach you the correct way. And then you can go from there. Okay, any questions?